Hey family, how y'all doing? So I got a virtual machine I'm trying to work with real quick here. Yeah, so the somebody asked me what this right here is the my little mic setup. It's a podcaster rig. It has an arm and it's like adjustable and it clips on the back of your desk. I got it at Best Buy a long time ago. But the mic is super sensitive and it picks up super well. I got this because when people invite you on to do a podcast or something, they like you to have a good mic. So what I do is when I'm recording like podcast stuff, I'll put my AirPods in, and that's connected to my Mac. So what I have going on here is a virtual machine here, and I highly recommend y'all check this out. So Bing is default search engine on Edge. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to what I do is I go. So if you used to type in Microsoft Edge virtual machines here, and that's super small, right? Let me try. I might have to try to adjust my settings. Let me. So what's dope about this is if you don't have Windows license, but you want to run a Windows virtual machine, you can go here and you can download a virtual machine. Let me actually. I need to actually try to. The display settings are real small for y'all, so let me try to update it a little bit. Display. And sometimes the resolution is kind of crazy on these guys. Why not? I just want it to be big enough for y'all to see it. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with this. But when it comes to this, you can go here. So the search term that I did is Microsoft Edge virtual machines. And so Microsoft, what it does is it gives you these virtual machines so you can play around, test, and develop software or whatever on their platforms. So to give you these virtual machines, I'm going to click on here. And they give you all these different kind of virtual machines. And which is dope, I use VMware, but they even have VirtualBox on here. So if you need to do some Windows stuff, and I'm going to show you, so I highly recommend it. If you can get on Ubuntu, if you can get a VirtualBox, because I know there's some people here that have different systems, try to get the VirtualBox running because this is free. And then download one of these VMs and you can run Windows stuff. So it's going to ask me to download that. I don't want to do that. But it gives you, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good size. and as Alpha Whiskey just said, so you see what Alpha Whiskey is saying. So you can either there is a 90-day license on this, but you can actually buy cheap licenses online if you really care. So I downloaded this the other day, and I download these things all the time because I wanted to do some coding, and I wanted to use. I'm playing around with Go, so what I want to do is I want to compile on a Windows box. So I started playing around with Go, and I put VS Code on there. But the thing that I want to introduce y'all to tonight is a little bit something different. So I'm gonna type in. Microsoft Threat Modeling Tool. And this thing is dope. So you see this right here? Download this threat modeling tool. I don't know if any of y'all has anybody here played with this before. It's pretty dope. So there's an ad there, and I download these virtual machines all the time because then, I mean, I'll use it because if I want to, can I just select all right here? Yeah. Because I'm not running native Windows, and so what happens here is that we're going to download that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna install this in a little bit. I'm gonna install it for you. Walk around a little bit. So we'll have that Kraken. And also, what's cool about that is you can download this joker and run it. Now, what's funny about threat modeling is threat modeling means something different to everybody. I mean, to different people, you ask them what threat modeling is. So when people ask me about threat modeling, I always tell them to use the Microsoft tools. Because Microsoft, I mean, this little tool is a free tool. And, I've done consulting and I've used this tool. And if any of y'all out there, and you could make some good money using this tool. I made 10K, 20K for little side consulting gigs using this tool. So if you want to make a little bit of money, you can definitely use this tool to make money. It's really good. So this is how it looks. You open this up. And you can create a model or open models. So basically we don't have this thing here. So we're going to create a threat model. Now, there's a really good book on this by my man Adam Shostak. You can read all about threat modeling. Threat modeling is something that you could possibly put in your resume. I would definitely know how to put threat modeling on the resume. So basically you have these different things here. And what you'll see is that you can like build these little maps and these maps, and then you can like print a report, and I'll show you how to do this. So you have all these different stencils here. And what's dope about it is that what happens is you can create, and my dog, she appears like clockwork, I tell you. So let's create a data store. So say if you have an SQL database, and you can create network drawings to these different things. SQL database. So say let's grab some more stuff. So you have web server that you have connected to that. You're gonna have different things as well. So say from there you're gonna have HTTP. That's gonna go to somewhere. There should be a browser. I haven't been in here in a long time. There's gonna be browsers in here, all kind of stuff. Browser client. You can connect these things to each other. Can I zoom? And then what you can do is you can really map out how this thing goes. Like I said, it's a data flow diagram, a DFD. And what it does is you can actually down here, when you drop those elements, you can actually talk about what's going on here as well. So you can say this is JSON. Yep, most of your browsers are processing JSON data. You can also talk about if this is on Wi-Fi. And so you add all these different variables. I'm clicking on the web server now. God dang it, I'm in the way. I just noticed that. I see my head's in the way. So let me try to make this a good size so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I'm sliding this over. God dang it, it's not back into place. I thought it's unorganized. Alright, cool. This won't. So basically on all these elements, I dropped the web server right here. God dang it. God dang it, Marcus. Where's it at? Oh, it's way up here. So on here, though, I am clicked on the web server. So on the web server, you can say if something's in scope, out of scope. And what's cool about this at the end of the day, what's going to happen is, and I think you can see this, running as you. I mean, it's a web app. So does that, does this web app operate as administrator? Is it an app container or sandbox? It takes inputs from where? Local network service. So you can put in here everything related to this app. And what's dope about it is that it actually makes you a really detailed report. The first thing that's really cool about this is that I remember I made a comment the other day about how people don't have their network diagrams. So how you, from a consultant perspective, I said you can make 10, 20, 30, I mean, you probably make 100K, depending on who you are doing this. Because the exercise is you go into a client and you walk with that client and you walk that client through all this stuff. You say that web server is definitely going to be connected to a database. So what you need to do is you need to create, there's a data flow. It's a data flow diagram. So this connection is using some protocol. So let's just say for goodness sake, that's encrypted too. I'm connecting these red dots to these red dots. And what this does is this is gonna, I can go into this database. I clicked on the database now. And now the control, it says attributes, storage credentials, yes or no, log into data, yes or no, encrypted, yes, blah, 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 removable storage, yes. So you have all these different variables when it comes to the network. And what I've done is I've been on engagements where I sit with like the engineering team, the security team, all these different teams to show them each one of these steps here. And once you finish doing this, you'll have a beautiful diagram, and you can create boundaries. You can create trust boundaries, all these different things. And what you do with this is I've walked organizations through this, and they saw that, oh snap, we're not doing authentication there. No, that's not encrypted there. That's not this, not that. So just walking through and we're talking about an application. So say that, you work in an organization and they build their own applications. And it doesn't even have to be their own application. This could be somebody hosting WordPress internally. This could be SQL, a name of SQL or anything like that. Oh, somebody telling me to minimize my cam for a second. All right, good suggestion. I only had to show my camera. Video capture. So my camera's gone now. So I can make this bigger. So this is fantastic. I'm telling you, and you go through when you go through and get this all done, it'll produce a report. And I did a couple of attributes, but let me show you real quick. I'm gonna save it. I'm just gonna save in documents. My dog's about to go nuts because the dog is gonna be the dogs are wanting like reports. Let's say create a full report. It does an automatic report, just based on all the data that you give it. It's gonna print out do an HTML report. Save it. It's gonna be in documents. All right. So, and the better you fill out the information, the better. See, it attached that as a PNG, and you see I have some errors here. It tells you things that could happen on the network because it does not sanitize input. The web server persistent, it's talking about sanitized data. But all those different things, you could actually input on those things. So this can actually, what you do is you pick something in your organization. This is free to download. And you can actually walk through anything, any kind of. You can threat model pretty much anything. By the way, I've taken a lot of stuff and ran it through here. But it's actually beautiful because if you get in depth, then there's things all over the place. For instance, like big companies, and I'm like I said, I walked into big companies that did this, and there was tons of. The report was like super verbose because they had this there, they had a data store here, they had this there, this that, this that, and the third, and so they had all that stuff. So it was like, wow, this is crazy. And I say charge 10K, 20K. Those are like typical like consulting prices. So it's not like you robbing them, because what's cool about it, it's the first time that many people have sat down and actually walked through this together. And so that's a tremendous value. And walking through the threat model, what's cool about it is that you by threat modeling, you're gonna find some gaping holes in pretty much any organization. Somebody said, "Is there a similar tool for this in Linux?" I don't know. I mean, because like what I do is I just download Windows for free like this, put it on VirtualBox, right? And you can run this tool. It's a free tool. So I love free. I love the fact that this is free, and this provides a lot of value. So I gotta pause real quick. I'm sorry. I just had a delivery come through, and I just need to make sure that my wife's aware of that. So give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm just gonna turn my volume off, and I'll be right back in less than 5 minutes, hopefully. Hey, I'm back. All right, so that's an introduction to threat modeling, and that's how it looks. Is that pretty cool? Yeah. So Alpha Whiskey is it? Yeah, Alpha Whiskey is a beast. Alpha Whiskey, why are you in this class? You should be teaching this class. So this is an overview of this. Let me see. This is getting started. They walk you through the tool. Highly recommend just following this stuff. Microsoft spent a lot of time and money on this, and it works great. And I'm glad they still give it away for free. That's the threat modeling tool. Did I download anything else? The guide. Is one of these different? I'm trying to see is one of these different. So Microsoft. Oh yeah, this hopefully this is a little bit different. How to run it. Overview. Is that the same document? That's getting started. Let me see if this is other ones are different. So two different guides. I'm telling y'all right now, this is like super good. Oh yeah. So they're getting in the stride here, basically. And so the threat, you see this threat types, this is like super important here. So what Stride, it talks about the different types of ways that somebody could harm you. And I've seen a lot of pen testers use this model as well. Right? So basically, spoofing, of course, is you pretending you're somebody else. Tampering means we talked about people messing around with the data, alteration of the data, destruction of the data. Repudiation. Basically, there's this term. I don't know if I heard repudiation. So repudiation is if I'm trying to withdraw money at a bank, and I got $100 in my account. I try to take $100 out. I take $100 out. The register my balance should say $100. I mean, it should say zero because I'm at zero at that point. So now, basically, there's this term called non-repudiation that means that I shouldn't be able to repute. I shouldn't be able to protest and say, "Hey, look, I didn't really take out $100," right? And so from an attacker perspective, this is the kind of things that you're trying to do as well. Let's see what repudiation does. I'm giving you an example here. Denying something happened. See, Joe denies that he clicked on the link. Boom, boom. Financial transaction. It gives a financial transaction here. Yeah, I go to the ATM. I take out $100, but I say that wasn't me. Now, it could have been fraud, but it could have been like, no, Marcus really took out that money. And for all the things that people talk about blockchain, I think blockchain is the closest, bestest thing that we have for repudiation. And that's why a lot of banks have been put money into this. So there's actually a book on this. This is something that you can get paid a lot of money doing, by the way. It's something you should always be doing anyway. You should always be threat modeling. So let me go to Amazon. And I'm just going to type in threat modeling. Oh man, Adam Showstack. What the heck? Threat modeling. What the heck? What? This is ridiculous. Oh, my bad. Show stack like that. I don't know, how did this build it some other way? I guess it's down on Amazon. Oh, here it is. This is it. This book is money. This is the Threat Modeling Bible. So, this book is $40. It has a free tool. Guarantee you, this is super valuable. Like, learn this stuff. Learn what it's talking about. Because everybody should be threat modeling all the time. You should be threat modeling everything. You should be threat modeling your... And so this is what... The reason why I like threat modeling is because threat modeling, you could actually... Basically, when it comes to threat modeling, is you see this browser client, you kind of have to think of all the scenarios... all the scenarios that you could go through to exploit that, right? And you can have different arrows going to here. This is with the web server, that traffic's that way, this traffic's that way, and because this is HTTP, it's gonna treat that different. This is HTTPS, it's gonna treat that different. So this is really, really important to know. And this is something that you can start right now. So some people, you might already have a job, and some people are trying to move their way into the security piece. So what I recommend that you do is maybe you volunteer for something. Maybe you volunteer to do a threat model of the organization. And you pick a system that they use. You walk through, do this, boom, 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 sit people down, talk to the engineers, talk to the administrators, walk them through. And that questionnaire bit that I showed you earlier, hold on a second here. The questionnaire that I was showing you, it dang near... I'm over yet? What the heck? Oh, my bad. I'm trying to click on the dang browser. Man, I'm crazy. Alright. You click on this joker. God dang. I need some rest. Alright, so basically this questionnaire, this is going to make you a better security person. So if you do this a couple of times, these are all the questions that I would ask, right? I would ask, I would ask all these questions. And they're dealing with web server, all right, boom. What's this, like, I would say, what's the application running at? That web server should be hopefully running, heck, it should be running as a lower, like some kind of, the least amount of privileges that you can, right? Typically you're gonna have some kind of service account, right? So I would say local service. Basically, do you have some kind of container? Boom, boom, boom on there. But here's the deal. These are the questions that you're gonna look really smart because you just go through and you ask these questions. Does it send as input? Yes or no? Yes. Does it send it as output? Maybe no. And you can add custom attributes down here. This is really dope, people. So this is one of the things that I have my list here, and I'm going to be going through this list. I'm holding the list up like y'all see my camera. It's a bad day. This is the list. Holding this list up just so you can see. So threat modeling was on my list. Talked about it very briefly. All right, so I have a question here on threat modeling. So I'll take a question on threat modeling. So if you're threat modeling, if you are for a company, would the engineers be the ones that disclose to whether their transmissions or servers or certain protocols. Typically, you're going to be working with the security team, and typically, I would how I roll is I tell people during the assessment, like when I'm going in, like, hey, you need to tighten that up, right? And also that would be on my report to whoever commissioned the engagement. So somebody says, can you just scan their network? Well, you would know some of these questions if you scan their network, right? So this is kind of different from a pen test. I swear to God, I think this is way more effective than a pen test, by the way. On a pen test, you may find some of these vulnerabilities yourself. But in the threat model, like I said, you can do this internally in your organization. And what you're doing is you're just walking through this. This is like a table type experience, really, where you say, here's the application that we're protecting. Where's the database? How's it talking to the database? Is it sanitized? We have this data store here. We have this XYZ here. There's all these different things, but you just go through all these different pieces, and you're going to be able to, and like I said, it populates. It's going to, you answer all these questions, and I guarantee you it's going to give you a good report. I mean, not a good report, but I'm just saying it's going to give you plenty of data. And what you do is I love this tool is because you can learn how to do these type of assessments from the tool. The tool is freaking awesome and it's free. There's companies like some of these big four big box consultants. They're using this behind the scenes, right? And they're charging $100K, $200K, or whatever. So the tool that I'm on, I went to it earlier. Is I did a search for. I started at Bing. I just went into Bing. Is that the right joint? You just go into Bing, and the official name of this tool is the Microsoft Threat Modeling Tool, and it's awesome. The book was this, Threat Modeling, Designing for Security, Adam Shostak. That's the author. Hopefully that makes sense. Is that good? People like this? It doesn't seem like a lot of people saw this or knew about this resource. But this is money, I'm telling you. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to switch virtual machines real quick. So I'm gonna do a little bit of moving around here. I'm gonna shut down my Windows machine. Now the reason why I had to use the Windows machine to do that is because like I said, that tool runs in Windows. So what I did is I went and grabbed the free Windows virtual machine that anybody can do. And got busy and downloaded that. So this is what, like, when people say what a hacker is, I tell people that you just got to be like super resourceful. The hacker is the most resourceful person. I don't have Windows. Oh, how can I get some Windows to roll with, right? That's it. Alright, so I'm shutting up. I'm doing some virtual machine swapping in the background here. Alright, I gotta open up my Ubuntu virtual machine. Somebody asked about Dabble and OSINT stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of actually built some software a long time ago that was related to OSINT. I'll show you. I'm waiting for this virtual machine to come up. Yeah, I did OSINT a long time ago. I built this software. I built an app to do OSINT for people, and it was pretty popular. So I had at some point in my career, I was a disgruntled security person, as most people, as most people that goes into the field, you're gonna have your highs and lows. So at one point, uh, so it's funny because like in cybersecurity, what's really funny is that over time, what happens is things get hot and cold. So like every from time to time, like there's what do y'all say the hottest thing in cybersecurity is right now? What's the hottest tool? I mean, what AI? I was like AI. Everybody talking about AI, but like cybersecurity specific or people is this where the hotness at? Yeah, sim stuff hot. So let me go over here. So I built this thing a long time ago, and I'm just gonna show you the thing I built. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I think that I'm kind of nuts, and I think people can do whatever they want to do. So eventually, I encourage people to build stuff. I can't hear this video playing, but this is a video I did. I'll commentate it. So basically, I built this OSINT tool. You just have to I'm entering Microsoft. You enter the organization name, and you enter the organization's .com address. And what I did is I ran the attack surface for it. And this is how it worked. It pretty much was, and I did a lot of permutations. And so what happened was, um, and I was doing all passive stuff at first, and then eventually the results came back. And so when you click on the entity, it gave you a lot of stuff. So pretty much there's where all the machines are at. I kind of geolocated them, like where their resources are at. I didn't want to expose Microsoft stuff like that. No, the website I shut it down. But I had it up for a little bit. Made a little money off of it too. I was actually charging a little bit. But yeah, so that's a tool. That's a tool that I wrote. That was a long time ago. So your boy been writing hacking tools for a long time. So what's cool though? Check this out though, right? I think writing hacking tools and hacking is cool, and OSINT and all that stuff's cool. But everything is it's because I understand how all these things work, right? So and then I learned how to code and all that stuff. Oh, I learned how to put all my ideas in the code. So I made a promise to myself: any hacking tool that I said I was gonna write, I was like, I'm gonna build it where it's easy to use. And so that's my whole hallmark. And that's how I built a company, did a lot of stuff, and I try to make sure that all my tools that I ever write are easy to use. And I want stuff easy, accessible, and that's why I like teaching too. I like teaching y'all what I can. All right, so now we're back over here, and what we're gonna do. So we actually have a lot of stuff here. We're gonna because I notice here, like I'm gonna do a poll here. Anybody want to see me do command line stuff? This is my list that I compiled. how many people want to see command line stuff? And what kind of command line stuff would you want to see? All right, cool. Sweet. I'll do some command line stuff. I think most people are unfamiliar with Linux, but I can do Windows or whatever too. So basically, this week, folks, I want to do. Okay, I can do both. So this week I'm going to try to knock out this list. This is our objective this week. We knock out this list, and then we jump into Security Plus. Does that sound good? Sound like a plan? All right. So that means that I'm going to show you. I'm going to get back into Packet Tracer too for a little bit. We're going to jump back in Packet Tracer because we can do DNS and DHCP. We can also do IP version 6 in it. And we also can do firewall. And then the only thing left on IDS and IPS would be to play around with Snort a little bit. Alright, cool. So the family's on board. I got the little list. So what I'm going to do, I'm kind of like thinking of a way to make this like interesting and interactive. So DNS, as you know, DNS is the first thing on my list here. So, and as you know, we actually have that document. So in a little bit, I'm gonna like look at the document, make sure everybody's in document, and we need to start working on the other thing too. All right, so DNS server. So on is this tiny? I can make it big. All right, so there's a couple different ways to look at DNS stuff on this platform. I mean, on at a command line. So I'll do command line stuff, and I can handle a lot of this stuff too. So you know what? Screw it. Let's do a lot of command line stuff real quick, because I can actually walk you through a lot of stuff here. So basically, a lot of those commands that the hacker did, we can actually do that stuff too. So the hacker in the first course that I do, and we're gonna. Somebody said when we're gonna cover the session layer. Don't hold your breath. Yeah, hold your breath for the session layer joint, right? I've been holding my breath for session layer for 30 years now. All right. So uname-a, what this is doing is just giving me information about the system. It gives me the operating system. I think Ubuntu is the host name here, and all kind of different stuff like right here. So I'm gonna cd to root. Let's just talk about this real quick. So basically, if I do a cd slash, it takes me to my root folder right here. So that means that it changed this to slash, but that doesn't mean, I guess that means a little bit of something. You see this right here? That was my home location. So if I say cd tilde, that's that little mark there, and I say pwd, that stands for print working directory. Or can everybody see this? Or do I need to make it bigger? I want to make it bigger. I'm gonna tell you everything I know about the command line on Linux. All right, cool. So PWD means print working directory. That means I'm working in this directory and I'm at my home directory. If I do cd slash, I do the same thing, PWD, and it says slash, which means I'm at the root directory. The root directory is the bottom of the tree. All right. So if this was a tree, an upside down tree is how people have described it to me. An upside down tree, meaning, where's my favorite tool? Excalidraw. So some of y'all are beast mode experts, and some of y'all are noobs like me. I'm a noob. I don't know anything. So I want to do this. Hey, one thing I want to tell y'all, like this real talk. I'm gonna give y'all some Marcus real talk, right? I don't want y'all to ever worry about what haters. If people hate on you, just totally ignore them. I see a lot of people talking about they're not respected. People don't think they know what they're talking about. Look, people don't think I know what I'm talking about. It's like, so, you know what I'm saying? And I think I know, like, you know, all jokes aside, I'm good. I know tech pretty well. I can build tech from the ground up. No problem. I can do system administration, okay, like a lot of different things. And not to brag or nothing, but it's just like facts though. So, like people describe an operating system. Hey, by the way, you never know when you're gonna be. Yeah, somebody said, "What Twitter has a block option?" You had to block some people today. Had to block a couple people today. I mean, I hate blocking people because I like dialoguing with people. I like dialoguing with people all across the political spectrum too, because I figure I could learn from anybody. But sometimes people reveal that they're not good people. I have to bounce. So upside down tree, we're gonna do it. So that's root, right? And it's like, so sometime here you have different directories. The main directories are var. There's also one called Etsy that's pretty. So it's funny because you get a lot of slang in here too. I call that one Etsy. Under here, so what's super important, you're gonna have another folder. So this is like a upside down tree is the way I like to describe it. And you know why this is important? Because you never know when somebody's gonna try to play this. Well, you know Linux? All right, cool. Tell me about Linux. You know, you never know when somebody's gonna try to trip you up. So that's important. That's super important. Usually there's I'm gonna give you a couple of more. This is off the dome, but I can tell you they're very important. Like a lot of times you have libraries that make stuff work in there, lib. So each one of these kind of means something. Etsy, there's a lot of configuration files in there. So somebody tell me if I'm wrong. But under here you're gonna have these are the configuration files. I think var Etsy conf. I think I might be right. Is that right? Conf under there? Probably. We can easily see though. Watch this. So I said you have lib, you have lib64, and 64-bit binaries in there. These are probably old school binaries. You also have home in here. And so, hey, you might see some of these on the test, by the way, right? You might see this. You might see this on the test for real though. So check this out. I'm gonna try to help y'all resumes too. I see people talking about that. So if I go into lib, do a ls, and it's gonna be all kind of stuff, right? So and that's how it's the upside down tree. ls again. Like, let me see here. So var, cd var, let me see this. Yeah, var log, my bad. Logs under there. So cd log, ls, this is gonna be all your logs. It's gonna be all kind of logs in here, by the way. It's syslog stuff in here. You see there's a snort log in here because I installed snort already. There's VMware logs. A lot of times when people fail at installing something, what's funny about that is if sometimes there's plain text logs to look in here and it tells you why you failed. It tells you why it didn't work. So sometimes just because you have a whole, a bunch of junk like spew out, check, just look and see if it is going to give you the answer. Because sometimes it might be in one of these logs. So that's why var log is important. I'm going to cd back to here. What else here? So a couple of different, there's all kind of tricks and stuff you could do. There's tab completion. Tab completion is available. So if I say cd/bin ls, look, there's a lot of binaries in there. So even if I say echo, if I say echo Marcus, it's going to echo Marcus. But why that's important is because sometimes people can hijack the actual people hijack these binaries and they can put bad binaries on here. You see egrep is something I use a lot. Let me just show you a couple of things. So if I do pwd, it says I'm in /bin now. Now there's these things called relative. And there's absolute paths. The best way to describe that is by going to home, ls. Now I've taken tests and I've seen people say stuff like, "What's the default directory for users on a Linux system?" Typically, that's home. I'm gonna do a pwd. And what we see here is we see the absolute path of where I'm at right now. This is an absolute path. The absolute path starts with root. It starts with /. You may see that on the test. I've definitely seen questions like that on tests. Right? Now, if I do a ls, that means list. List the stuff that's going on. There's one user on here. Right? Now here's a good example here. So I think I can say bang, hello. I'm just trying to practice my comment. So if you do a bang, you do a sharp or a, what do y'all call that? Y'all call it a pound. We used to call this a sharp back in the day. I'm old. Right? So somebody call it a hashtag. Yeah, on Twitter they call it a hashtag now, right? So that hashtag is going to give you, this allows you to comment. Now, what I'm doing right here is called standard input. STDIN, standard input. Now, that pound made me ignore the standard input that I was putting in. And why this is all important is because if you're doing forensics, sometimes you want to know what people are doing. You have to understand all the stuff that they're going to. So my absolute path right now. So absolute path, pwd is always going to get you. pwd, and you can do a man pwd too. You might get that question. Somebody might ask you a question on an interview or on a test. How do you view the help for a command? And this is how you do it. Man, man, and see right here, it tells you what to do. It tells you all the switches, all that stuff. These are called man pages. It has nothing to do with gender. It's manual pages. So man pages, you can type that out for anything. We saw echo, boom, display a line of text. So if you don't know what something does, you can do the man page. Clear to clear, I've been doing that a lot. So you can also, to see a history of commands that you type, you can type history. Happy Cinco de Mayo to all my people that celebrate Cinco de Mayo. So this is pretty cool. So with history, so I typed the history command, watch this. In history, I typed it again, it says 44, clear. History, and you see that? Oh, you know what's crazy? I said history, and Siri said, You know, nobody can understand me. All right, so watch this. Every time you type something, boom. This is a good forensics place to look. History. Right. I'm going to clear it again. Now, what I'm going to type is I'm going to type history, and I know at some point in history I typed in standard in STDIN, right? So what you can do is this is called a pipe. This is what we call a pipe. So the pipe is on your keyboard. On my keyboard it's a line that's right above my return on American keyboard. Right? So, man, somebody said, my man Siad Benitez said, in order to hide your history, you would a space before your command. Well, I'll try that. So, hey, check this out though. If, like, forensically speaking, if there's no history log, you know it's bad. So, let's try what my man said. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to just type, it's a space, echo, Marcus. Now, if I type history, see if we write. That is correct. You freaking hacker. I didn't know that. This is like a TIL moment. Thank you very much for educating me. That is dope. I love seeing little hacks like that. So now we know that if you type a space, all those hackers that are vigorously taking notes. That's dope. All right. So what I wanted to talk about. So everything about this, right? Everything you have to remember. What's the security implication of this? Right? So check it out. So here it is. So there's this thing. The other command I use all the time is this. I'm gonna say man. There was a command called egrep. There was a command called grep. You see that? And it says its alias is egrep, but grep is the original, but egrep is like the new enhanced grep. And this is what you use. Now, you can use grep as like a search engine at the command line, right? So how you would use that is you would say history, and I want to search my history, so I'm going to use a pipe operator. And that, like I said, it's right above my return key on the American keyboard. I know foreign keyboards may be different. Find that symbol, and now you can pipe that into another command. So I do that, and I do egrep, and then I push the search term that I'm searching for, and then I say standard in. Now, what happened there is you saw the history command that I typed. I just typed it, so it automatically put itself in there. And this is the thing that I said, the comment about that. And this is pretty cool. I'll show some awk. I like awk. Awk is one of my favorite commands. So, grep, get used to it, is really awesome because you can search for stuff being there, and I just use it. I use it super often. Now, important to know, like I said, most of the time, I wonder could I. So let's issue two commands at the same command line. So what you do to do that is you do a history, and this is how you'll see some scripts done. And I'll do a clear, and I'll do a history. So let's see what happens. I don't know. Enter. And they all showed up at 1. The last thing I typed was history. So let's see if the last thing I type is clear, what happens. So it executed all those commands. So somebody said the space trick does not work at OS X. That space trick is dope though, I'll tell you that. That's really dope. Alright, so another thing to understand is what I'm typing at here is I believe this is a bash shell. This is that $ that looks like bash. And what bash means, it means born again shell. Not born again as in praise the Lord, hallelujah, but born as in born again shell. That's what it means. So Max uses bash. If you have a command line, bash is the most popular shell. There's all kinds of different shells though. There's a C shell. Oh, it's not even there. You see that? Let me see. SH. That's a regular old standard shell. So I'm in a different shell now. This is funny. So if I exit the shell, I'll go back to my bash shell. So what's cool about this, when I just type in SH, it was like I'm on a totally different computer. And I'm in a totally different shell right now. Hello world. It's not going to even know what the heck that is. But if I exit, hopefully I'm thinking here, I don't think that's going to be my history. I could be smoking something. See, it's not there. So, somebody likes fish. Yeah, man, I got some people in here. I've never even played with fish. I don't know. Fish it's not here. But obviously it's another shell, right? So let's see. I mean, I don't even know. I don't be playing with command line that much. But I mean, obviously that's another shell that some of the Alpha Whiskey says they like fish. All right, I like fish too. Fish and chips. Good fish and chippy. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I gotta take a 5-minute break. I'm gonna get something to eat real quick because I haven't ate yet. I'm gonna take a 5-minute break, eat as much food as I can, and I'll be right back. I'm back up in this drawer. All right, I'm back, refreshed, revived to do this justice. Yeah, the dogs. You know what's funny? Because it's thunder in the forecast, rain and thunder. It hasn't rained and thunder. It's sprinkled a little bit, but anytime that it's raining and thunder, the dogs kind of like go away and hide. So they ain't trying to be in here tonight. All right, so let's go over this real quick. I'm gonna teach y'all a game. So what I tell people, all these tools and all these commands, it's like it's a double-edged sword. Everything can be used for good or evil. Right? So many of these commands that I'm showing you are commands that you want to use if you're doing incident response on a Linux machine. I heard a lot of people talking about this, right? So why this is super important is for a very big reason. Hold on a second. So you're not always going to have a GUI that you can play around with. You're not always going to have a mouse. The more you get into tech, you're not going to have a mouse sometimes, right? And definitely, Linux is like most of the servers on the internet are Linux. I don't have some kind of calculation. I don't have a number in front of me. I'm sure you can search it. But a large percentage of things in the cloud are Linux servers, right? So you need to understand Linux if you want to be a serious cybersecurity professional. Somebody said because it's free? Absolutely, because it's free. You know what I'm saying? And you can build some cool stuff on it. So we said that like history. Let me go over this real quick. Everything good? Audio is good. Everything's good. Somebody said Android. True. Facts. So let's do this. Free as in beer. This is what we say. Free as in beer. That's what it is. All right, so I'm gonna clear again. So basically, the command I typed, unam-a. You're always gonna type that out if you're doing instant response. So we mentioned DNS. So let's do a couple of commands here. If you do ns lookup, if you do this command, hold on a second here. I'm just trying to do it so I get something back. So let me do ns lookup, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these commands I'm gonna type aren't even on the server. So ns lookup, and I'm gonna say google.com. All right. So what's important here? See that it doesn't give me a name, right? It doesn't give me like foo.com. It's telling me that my DNS is being served up by the loopback address at 53. Now, what this means is because I'm on a virtual machine, that's what it's resolving this locally through a virtual. This is a loopback port. That means it's local, right? So this one right here is giving us what? What does that mean? That means, I'll wait for the people typing in, that's what port is resolving DNS on. So we call this a socket. A socket is the IP address plus the host. Yep. Now, it's telling us that here's the address. The name is this, here's the address, and it also gives us an IP version 6 address as well. So, Now the new command, and somebody typing in the new. So why this is super important for incident response, though, by the way, is because attackers sometimes they will change the DNS. They can change the DNS because what this DNS server, if it's connected to a corporate DNS server, what you should be getting, should be getting, is you should be getting DNS queries, safe DNS queries from somewhere inside your network. I've definitely seen malware take over boxes and change the DNS. Because sometimes DNS can be sinkholed. Sinkhole means if I know that something's bad, I'm going to not allow that to resolve. But by changing DNS to their DNS, they can actually resolve whatever the heck they want to. So as we remember during the study, I remember seeing this question. I remember seeing this term, DNS. DNS translates names to IP addresses. So if I did a GET request, I'm going to do a DNS request. It's going to tell me to go to this IP address, and then I'm going to say the GET request to that IP address. And I'm going to say, I'm looking for hostgoogle.com. So that's like a lot of stuff going on at the same time. Hopefully I'm making sense. So now there's also a dig command. You can say diggoogle.com. And this is going to give you a bunch of information as well. This is going to tell you this is a record. This is DNS stuff. You get down into it. And that's telling me the same thing essentially here. And the address should be somewhere right here. So it's giving me the same thing. Sometimes you can get multiple addresses as well. And yeah. So let's keep going. Now, a couple of things here. I'm gonna cover. So DNS is important. If the attacker can control your DNS, your attacker can send you wherever. So no matter what you type in, the attacker can point you to the same place. I think, so there's a find command here. I'm gonna do this real quick. I think there's a file called resolve.conf that exists. This is getting kind of, I might be totally smoking something, but what this does is yeah, that's it. So basically, I just entered a fancy command. Basically, if you don't know if something exists, you can type in this right here. And you see that right there? It said that there's an Etsy resolve.conf here. So now the reason why that Etsy.resolve.conf is important, god dang, it's a lot of stuff. So basically, I'm getting permission denied because if I sudoed, I can look into different things, and plus some of this stuff is just garbage files anyway. And it's just saying permission denied, permission denied, permission denied. But at the top, I got what I wanted. So I know that there's a file called Etsy.conf. Etsy resolve.conf. Now, if I go here, what the frick? Did it resolve it? Hold on a second. CD Etsy. My bad. And ls. So I can do an ls and I can say res star. And what this star is, it's a form of a regular expression. It shows that I have a resolve conf, and that must be something related to DNS, by the way. I don't know what that is, but it's probably something related to DNS. But what I'm interested in is this right here. Clear? Now, there's two commands that I can type in to see, there's several commands. I can say cat resolve.conf. Enter. Now look here. Hold on a second here. what it's telling me here, there's a couple of different things in here, right? So in that resolve.conf, what you can do, you can change it. This file is managed by this system service. Do not edit. This is a dynamic conf file, a local boom boom. This file, let's all configure. Run to see all the details. Third-party programs will not access the file directly, but only through this. To manage this, boom, in a different way. Replace the symlink by static file. All right. So this is probably just this may be even just a fake file, but what's important here is this might not be really the file that but the importance of this file is this. You want to look in here to see what name server is in here, right? Because attackers, what they can do is they can actually change this file, and you could actually do, you could put change the name server here, right? Now I think there might be another one in here called host as well. Let me see if this exists. Yeah, so check this out. So there's a file in here called host.conf. So Etsy is for your configuration files. I'm gonna say cat host.conf. The order, I'm gonna cat host. This is interesting. Clear. So the file I'm looking for that I want, I'm gonna say is host, but let's do it LSHOST, and I'm gonna do a star just so y'all can see that. It's all kind of stuff in here. Two that are interesting. I'm gonna say cat host name. It says Ubuntu. I could probably change that and it changes to whatever I want to upon reboot, perhaps. I'm gonna say cat host. And this is interesting too, because here's the deal. This is funny because what I can do here is I can actually add host to here. I've seen a lot of attacks. So a star is a regular expression. Oh man, Cephers, I don't know what you're talking about. Hit is what? And the tab key twice. Oh, what? Oh, my bad. I got you. So he's trying to talk he's talking about tab completion. My bad. So if you do tab completion, it'll give you all the matches up to HOST. So I did HO tab, and what that shows me, it shows me all the files that match in this directory. So let's do our remember absolute and relative paths, okay? Right? So absolute path is the slash whatever, right? And now, but what I'm interested in is that hosting. So let me show you why I'm interested in it. Oh, let me show you different ways to look at these things. So you can say cat, but if the file's too big, you're just gonna blow past it. It's just gonna go so fast you're not gonna see it. This is a tiny file, but some people will do stuff like this. They'll say cat host, and then they'll say you can say more, enter, but it's too small. What was the other thing we saw? Oh, the other thing we saw was this. So cat resolve.conf. That was actually a pretty good size file. I'm gonna enter. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cheat here. I'm gonna make my terminal smaller, and it's gonna get the desired effect. What I want to show y'all is when you're managing some huge server farm, or you gotta get in some appliance, or you're doing instant response in the cloud or something. You need to know how to navigate around this joker. So now I did that, and it was so fast, I can't see. Let me do it clear. All right, so if I do cat host, what I'm trying to explain to you is this. You know, between the command prompts, that's all that file had, right? That's all it had. So, but if a file's bigger, it's gonna be like scrolling forever. It's gonna be like logs and stuff. It's gonna be ridiculous, right? I hope y'all like my sound effects. I've been practicing that since the 3rd grade. So you wouldn't want to cat that, right? But you can do a less command. There's 2 commands. You can just say less or you know why I like I like it when people say less. That's the most awesome thing I heard people say. You can say less. Oh, I just want to show you resolve.conf. That file is too big. So I'm going to say cat resolve.conf. And I don't see the other command prompt. That means it scrolled off the page. So that means this file is too big. So what I can do now is I can show some other stuff. I can say less. Oh, actually, the more popular one is say more resolve.conf. Kind of weird, right? And now it stopped at the It stopped at the terminal, and I can enter, and I can walk down, or I hit spacebar, and the spacebar took me all the way down out of this file. So spacebar is just kind of like page down, and the enter will get you through each one. All right, so somebody lost. All right, so what? Another couple things here, and this is actually like low key. Sometimes I forget that sometimes this stuff is super important. So you can say more or you can say less. I like saying less. You know what I'm saying? Say less. Similar kind of thing, where it lets you walk through the file. So, but if you have a huge file, that's where you get into grepping and awking. The reason why resolve.conf is important is that somebody could get there and try to change your DNS who you're resolving to. And that's where it's at. So let's make no mistake about it. So if I wanted to do this real quick, I could say cat resolve.conf, and I could do my grep egrep name. So, and it hit, boom, it told me my name server, right? So somebody mentioned earlier, there's actually this command called awk. I'm finna get crazy because you can do all these pipes, right? So somebody mentioned this awk. So basically it's called gawk. And if I remember correctly, what you can do here is you can do this. You can say print $2 maybe, $1. Let's try this. I haven't did this in years. What? I gotta do this just for GP. I gotta do this for all my homies. So what I just did there was I did a sudo. Basically, I escalated my privileges so I could run that command. So the command I just ran, so it's this group of users called sudoers, and if I'm a sudoer, which I am, that means that I can actually install stuff. Now, a regular user would have less privileges, and they wouldn't be able to do sudo. So I installed Gawk. This is for Debian systems. So what's called Backtrack, if y'all are Backtrack fans, Backtrack uses Debian, Ubuntu uses Debian, and I think Mint Linux, I think people use that. That's Debian. Debian's beautiful. So anyway, that's how you install I didn't have Glock on here, and if I'm lucky, you see that I printed $1, but what I really wanted to do is print dollar. I wanted to name server IP address. So what you can do is you can actually. This is why it's beautiful here, because I can actually put all these commands. I can get real complicated, and I can write what they call a shell script. Right? So a shell script is putting all these commands together in one thing. So we said, clear. We said, I want to do ifconfig, right? Actually, you know what? Let's do this real quick. Oh, you know what? I don't do too much crazy stuff in here. Do a CD and tilde and get back to here, because then we can start playing. Let's start playing around. Let's do shell scripting. All right, let me. I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna get into some pretty cool, like some scripting, so to show you how shell scripts are done, real quick. Any questions, real quick, or am I doing okay? All right, cool, sweet. All right, let's do this real quick. I'm gonna do ls. Nothing's there. I'm gonna just make a directory. I'm pwd. I'm showing my path. Right now, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna make a directory called scripts. Yeah, you could try this in Kali. All this stuff works. Everything I'm doing, 100% work in Kali. All right, so I said make directory. MK directory means make directory. That's what that means. I can do another directory just for the fun of it. And this is a command you got to be careful with. Because what hackers will do is they'll make a script folder. I'm going to just say script2. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to show you. Now if I did an ls-al, I'm going to do ls first. And you see scripts, and you see script2. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to say rm-rf. So basically, this is actually slang too. Because you'll get people that say rm-rf. That means get rid of that thing recursively. That means get rid of it. So you hear somebody when somebody's like, that person's a real dirtbag, we need to rm-rf them. That means you need to just throw that person out your org. Right? I'm giving y'all this language. I forgot the -r. No, it says R. What are you talking about? Me? So if I do ls now, it's gonna say that there's no script2. Yeah. So now clear this. And then what I'm gonna do is alright, so here's where the relative path and absolute path. So my absolute path starts with a / every time. Now, if you're doing installs or tutorials or something like that, sometimes I see errors in the path and it could mess you up. Right? So, but we have scripts here, so we need to change directory to get into scripts. I hit enter, but check this out. I should have did something else. I wanted to show you the difference. So pwd absolute path, and if I want to specify a relative path or a relative anything, you start with a dot. So cd dot scripts. So this is going to take me to dot. Dot means I'm right here. I'm right here, period. You can remember it like that. I'm right here, and I always want to go to the scripts directory right here in my same folder. You notice here, it changed the prompt here, and that's all. That's all. It depends on what system you're on, but in this system, it's showing me the relative path here. All right. So, and this is actually saying, this tells me, Marcus, you're in your home directory in scripts. That's what it tells me. So now what you can do is you can say pwd again, and that's showing me my absolute path. Now in this absolute path, let's start playing around a little bit. So what I can do if I wanted to echo, well, yeah, so let's do that. So I can echo Marcus greater than test.txt. Now what this is going to do is this greater than symbol, is this going to create me a folder. I mean, it's going to create me a file called test.txt. And now if I say cat that file, it prints out Marcus. Right? Now, if I want to get fancy here, what I can do is, since everybody knows me, my nickname here, I can go there. And then I can say cat. Notice this overwrote, and this happens all the time in life. Sometimes we overwrite stuff. Sometimes you're gonna overwrite something and blow something away, and you're gonna be pissed. That's gonna happen. If it hasn't happened to you, it's right around the corner for you. So the greater than symbol, it does creation of a file. It does creation of a file. Remember that. Greater than. This might be on the test. I've seen questions like this, and I've seen interview questions like this. Because they're like, oh yeah, Linux, how do you do this? And it might be like so this is the kind of question they would ask you to prove you don't know nothing about Linux. Right? This is a easy gotcha question. So I can ask you a simple question. How do you concatenate this file without deleting it? So that sounds like that can sound technical. You know what I'm saying? Give it a file, right? Yeah. So given a file, how would you, given this configuration file, they'll try to mix it up. Given this configuration file, how would you add on to the configuration file without opening up a word processor, something like that, right? So what you do is this. So I'm going to echo Marcus one more time. Now I'm going to say cat this file, and then that file, it says Marcus. Now what I can do to get to not do that, I can append this file, but yeah, can't type. So I need to do greater than. Now if I say cat test, it has two different things. And that's pretty cool. Somebody gave a great example. I'm going to say cat test2 txt. Oops. God dang. Clear. What am I doing? I'm stupid. Echo. Alright, now if I do ls, I have two files in there. If I cat test 2, I have that. No. I think I can probably do this. I'm gonna say cat test 2 text to test. This worked. Ls. Now, before in that file, y'all know I had just Marcus and Butch. I put Carrie in a separate file, so I'm trying to concatenate that onto the end of there. And with luck, cat test dot. Alright, so it worked. Now, so why this is important is attackers will use this technique to create entire scripts to do stuff. Right? And as a defender, you can build scripts to defend stuff. Now, I showed y'all a couple of commands already. And you can actually use what I just told you in order to build a script. Right? So, we can do the same thing. We can do a couple of different things. We can say remove test star. And this should get rid of, so star is a regular expression that means match test, TES, literally is going to match test, and star is going to be a catch-all. So it should match everything behind test. Hit enter. Now, clear, and I do ls, and there's nothing there. So hopefully, you did that and you're clear. So what I'm going to do here, I'm laughing here because what I normally would do is I would normally do vim, vi, but you can do whatever you want to. You need a text editor. We're at the end of this class, but I am adamant that you should understand how to do scripting. So let's do this real quick. So we said this is bash. You can type in which bash. Right? So we know that our interpreter, the command line thing is bash here. Now, I'm gonna write a quick script. And there's this epic thing on what people use to write to text edit. I use Vim. I'm old school. So this is kind of funny. If you're on a Linux system, if you never played with this before, well, let's just go over the commands real quick. So we said we wanted to do uname-a, and we want to say ifconfig -a, right? And we wanted to say netstat -an. This is a long command, but what this is used for is this used to show you connections that you have. So if I'm doing incident response on a system, I want to collect a couple of things. I want to know a couple of things here. I want to know what server that what system that I'm responding on, and I also want to know the IP address of the system, and I want to know what IP addresses this is also connected to. So netstat-an tells me exactly that. So here, this is my local address, and it's the foreign address. So that means that I have connections to all these different machines on the internet somehow. And also it tells you I'm listening on different things as well. Right here, it says I'm listening on these ports. Listening could indicate, sometimes you go down a rabbit hole, and you be like, what's this listening to? And you can like search these forever, right? So, basically the commands that we're doing 3 commands, and we're going to write us a quick little script to do these commands. So, clear. And I'm going to say vim ir.sh, or I can name it that, but typically if it's shell script, that's how it looks. Now, I know that my shell is bash, so I'm going to do this. I think this is, I wrote a bash script, but typically what you do is you do an exclamation, slash, and you tell it what the environment is, bin bash. And then another thing you probably do is you probably do some comments. And some people be putting like, so pretty much put your elite ASCII art in here if you write a script. This is what we see elite hackers doing. They'll put some ASCII art in there. I think it was bin bash when I did it. I'm gonna open a new terminal, new tab. So it depends on. So in order to do that command that I did, view, zoom in. All right, control plus. All right, I'm making this big. All right, so the reason I actually just opened up a new terminal, I'm gonna go back over here into my script in a second. But in order to say, so you can say which bash, and it'll tell you what the absolute path of bash. Bash is the shell that we're typing in. So everything I'm typing right now is in bash. So at the beginning of my script, I need to say, hey, do this in bash, right? So that's what that's for. That all the rest of that stuff is gonna be ignored. Don't ask me why this is bang. I don't know why this is like this, but this is just the format. All right, so the first command we said we wanted to do a, what do we say, uname-a. So scripting is pretty cool. You can be very generic and just type in the commands you want to run. And we said netstat-an. These are a few of the commands that you're going to type. I'm going to do, in VI, you do escape, shift : WQ to write and quit. Now, check this out. I'm going to clear ls. I'm going to cat it. Boom. So we have this little script here. Now, I could run this by saying bash r .sh, I believe. Cool, they ran it. Sweet. But this is where I can talk about permissions. If you do ls-al, it's going to show you these are permissions in Linux. So D denotes is a directory. RW and all this. This read, write, execute. This is read, write, execute. This is read, write, execute. So these bits can be represented in a couple of different ways. So a popular way to do it would be, all right, so my current permissions, there's 4 points if I can read. There's 2 points, and this is binary, just like when you're doing freaking subnet and stuff. So for a total of 7 points. But this is 3 times. So this first 3 is user. That means that's my permissions. I can read and write to this. The other one is group. You can remember this by saying UGO. User, group, and others. All right. So others are pretty much anybody anywhere in the world can read it. And that's okay sometimes, but they can't write or execute to it. So read is 4 points, write 2 points, execute is 1 point. So I could say, so you have to change you have to do this thing called chmod, or I call it chmod, is what I call it. Chmod is what I call it. Anybody don't call this chmod, raise your hand right now. All right. Sometimes these things get contentious. Like Vim is very contentious. All right. So you can do a plus X here. And what plus X will do is that'll change the command, that'll change it for just me, the user. I'm in the shell. Change mode is what some people said. But it's Shemad. You know what I'm saying? If you're a beast hacker, you call it Shemad. Then what you do? I'm having fun. I'm such a nerd. This is nerd humor. This is worse than dad jokes. Shemad, that's it. It's the champagne it commands. I love that humor. All right. So here's another time when the whole path comes in. By default, in order to be secure, if I do ls now, the only thing in here is r.sh. And by the way, when I made this executable, Linux changed this to green. Now this is pretty universal. I've seen most people turn this to green. That means you can run that command. So let's type r.sh, and it says not found. The reason why it's not found is because you have to tell it its absolute path. I mean, my bad. You need to specify the relative path. Or you can specify the absolute path. Either or. Hit this, boom, and now it ran. Clear. So let's get this clear. Let me, wow, I wasn't even trying to do that. So I think this is something you don't even want to do. If I say minus X, whoops. Now, you see the difference? It says execute here, but I can't execute it there. So even if I did a ./ir.sh, it's not going to run. But I showed you earlier I can do that. So I could do that, and it ran because what it did is it used the bash shell, and then it interpreted and ran this. So we built an incident response script. It runs. I'm going to Shemad back to, whoa. I'm going to do that. I'm going to run it. And I'm going to say results.txt. You can actually just do that. It's going to run the whole thing, and it should put everything into a text file. Let's see. ls-l. I want to do less because I know that's going to be potentially good size file. We know it's a good size file because we see it here. It actually has some size to it. All right, now there we go. So we can see at the top. Oh, so the cool thing about less is you can go up and down. I'm arrowing up and down. So the first thing I had was this, and the second thing I had was that. All right, I'm gonna edit this one more time just to make it pretty, because my ADD is kicking in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do vim. I'm gonna do vim ir.sh. All right, what I'm gonna do the first time I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna create it in the file. So the only thing I need to do is run it, and then I'm gonna append it with the rest of these. So what I did there is that's gonna look dope. What I can do is I can echo some stuff. Hopefully, I'm gonna put these echoes in quotes. So hopefully I can make this work. Your name. Now, when that attacker did that attack, when I showed y'all that all those weeks ago, this is what the attacker did. I'm just making this look pretty real quick. I don't know if you remember that, but he's like bobs and all kind of stuff. he had all kind of he he had all kind of ASCII art on that. So he went to town. I was gonna edit these. Now, so why I'm doing this is because when you write a script, and you can write a nice dirty script to get output like this, and sometimes some people think this is like some kind of lost, like you just create another freaking pyramid or something when you write a quick script. I mean, I've actually made people think I'm a superhero by scripting. I did some stuff that it came in pretty handy from time to time. So now I'm gonna do ls, and I'm gonna do this. Oh, actually, let me remove results, because ideally it's gonna create new results when we run it. So I'm gonna run it. Only thing I have to do is /ir. Boom. Dang it! It didn't save it to the file. So who caught that? Anybody catch me? I needed to do this is what I need to do. I need to go back in there and edit it one more time. Instead of echoing it out to standard output, I need to echo this, and that needs to be results.txt too. And this needs to append it. Alright, cool. Let's run it one more time. ls, remove results. Now, you can get really fancy with these dang scripts, and you could. Some people write reports in scripts, by the way. You can do something like this, and you know what I'm saying? You can do stuff like this, and it might be good enough to report and show something. So, this is how you do it. And I'm going to say less results. So now what it should be is it should be a little bit cleaner. So now I know that was a uname. Now I know that was the ifconfig. Now I know that was the netstat. And there we have, yeah, you can do all kind of crazy stuff. You can take an input, you can specify stuff. But that, my friends, that's your first script. Some of your first script. Some of y'all beasts. All right, I'm going to wrap up. Thank y'all for coming. Any questions on anything I covered here? Is this useful? The useful bit, in my opinion, I'm gonna tell you, is the being able to write your own incident response scripts. So hopefully some of the people here, some of y'all OGs, y'all got some experience. Hopefully I said something to help y'all out too. Hey, thank y'all for keep on coming. I'm gonna be here till y'all kick me out. All right, I'll see y'all Thursday. Yeah, list the commands. Yeah, I'm gonna meet y'all over in the Discord. I'll see you over there. Can somebody post the Discord real quick in case somebody don't have it? I'm gonna pop over to the Discord and chat for a little bit. Sweet. All right, I'll see you over in Discord.